Hi guys, I'm Samina and welcome to the Cupcake Confession where I show you how you can learn to make amazing decadent desserts and sweet treats. If this is something that you enjoy, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. While you do that, also don't forget to ding this little bell button so you are notified every time I post a new recipe.
We're first going to activate the yeast. So here I have some active dry yeast and caster sugar, and to that I'm going to add some lukewarm milk and let it activate for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to take some all-purpose flour and some sea salt in a stand mixer, and using the dough hook attachment I'm going to keep mixing this until the dry ingredients come together. Then I'll add the activated yeast and the milk mix and keep mixing on a low speed until all of the flour is mixing well with the yeast and milk mix. This takes about a minute, and after that I'm just going to add the condensed milk. It will be halfway mixed. You don't have to mix everything before you add the condensed milk. Once you've added the condensed milk, then you're going to increase the speed to medium and let the dough come together. And halfway through this, once you're kneading it for about 2 minutes, then you're going to add the butter. And once you've added the butter, this is when you will crank up the speed to somewhere above medium high, so 8 or 10 on the stand mixer, and keep kneading it for a good 5-minute period. You can also knead this by hand. If you're doing that, you'd have to knead it for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to place this in a lightly greased bowl and cover it with a kitchen towel and let this prove for about 2 hours. While that's proving, it's time to move on and make our custard, which will go inside the donut as a filling. So to do that, I'm first going to take my custard powder, and to that I'm going to add half of the milk in the recipe. This is cold milk, and I'm just going to whisk it so that the custard powder is well dissolved and there are no lumps. The rest of the milk, I'm going to add sugar to it in a saucepan and heat it until the sugar dissolves. Now once the sugar has dissolved, I'm going to add this custard mix that we created earlier, and then I'm going to increase the heat to medium and keep boiling this for 3 minutes so the raw corn flour taste can go away and it becomes a nice pudding. Then I'm going to transfer this into a bowl and let it cool down to room temperature. While that's cooling, now we're going to start working on our dough. So I'm going to roll this out using my rolling pin and by lightly flouring the work surface. The thickness has to be about ½ inch. Once I've rolled the dough, I'm going to use a cookie cutter and cut out rounds on my donut. Now because we are filling the donut with custard, I'm not going to take the center off as well. So it's going to be one round, it won't have a hole in the middle. Now this needs to be proofed again for about ½ an hour. So I'm going to lay them on a baking tray, cover it with a kitchen towel and let it rest in a warm dark place. After that I'm going to heat the oil to medium and I'm going to start frying these. So as you can see, the oil is not very hot because you don't want to burn the donuts. It takes about 3 minutes in total. So after about within the 3-minute period, after about 1.5 minutes, you're going to flip the donuts. You'll see that they start to go brown on the underside. Once they do, you're just going to flip it over and let the other side cook as well. They don't take very long to cook, and the insides are really like bread and they're just delicious. So when you see that the underside has cooked as well, they've gone nice and golden brown, you're going to take it out into a plate. You could use a kitchen towel. I don't like to use that. I just transfer it to a plate after I've taken out all the oil that I can with my slotted spoon. Once I've done that, now it's time to fill the donuts. Now to fill that, I'm going to take a skewer and about 3/4 of the way through, I'm going to put that in and just wiggle it around to make some space for that custard to go in. Here I have a Wilton Tip 10, which is a very tiny round nozzle. I'm going to use, now when I try to fill it in, it just keeps wiggling away and doesn't go inside. So I'm going to use my index finger from holding the donut and stuff that nozzle inside the donut hole, and I'm going to squeeze the piping bag so the custard starts getting filled into the donut. I'm going to be very generous with this, and you'll see that the piping bag tries to pop out on its own. That's when you know that the donuts are really well filled. Now I'm going to make the glaze. So here I have the icing sugar, and to that I've added some rose water to flavor it with rose. Now once I've done that, I'm going to add a little bit of that red food coloring to give it a baby pink hue, and I'm going to keep mixing this, and this is the consistency that you are looking for. I'm going to take that filled donut and I'm going to add a generous spoonful of that glaze over it, and then I'm just going to let it slide down on its own. Then if you see that there are some spaces that still need some of that glaze, then do that with your spoon and then top it with some dried rose petals and let the icing set. It would take about 5 to 10 minutes. And now guys, these are my rose custard donuts. I'm going to show you what this looks like on the inside. So I'm going to break open, and here you can see that the icing is really nice and rosy, and the custard filling is amazing.
So guys, this is it. If you like this recipe, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you have any comments or suggestions, pop them down in the comments below. I post a new recipe every Tuesday and Thursday, so if this is something that you enjoy and if you want to be notified every time I post a new recipe, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and while you do that, also don't forget to ding this little bell button. I'll see you again next time. Bye.